Hari Om, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1 to chapter 12, Recapitulation. Before entering into another important chapter, chapter 13, in fact, an important section of Bhagavad Gita, that is 13 to 18, I think a recapitulation of all the chapters from 1 to 12 is a must. Bhagavad Gita, reading Bhagavad Gita or hearing Bhagavad Gita is like nectar. Again and again and again and again I can read. It's a nectar, the only sweet which you don't get a feeling of, okay, this is enough. Again and again we can read. So I think before entering into the next section, a recapitulation is a must. Bhagavad Gita, as I understand from the gurus and the acharyas, it is divided into three sections based on the Mahavakya. Tat Tvam Asi. In chapter 1 to chapter 6, Bhagavan discussed the Tvam Pada, that is you, Jivatma. In chapter 7 to chapter 12, Bhagavan Krishna discussed the Tat Pada, that is Bhagavan, Paramatma. Tat Tvamasi, Tat Pada. Then the next six chapters, that is chapter 13 to chapter 18, is going to equate that the Jivatma inside is nothing but the Paramatma. That is Asi Pada. Tat Tvam Asi. Chapter 1 is Arjuna Vishada Yoga. The grief of Arjuna, the mental depression on facing the challenges of life, that was discussed in detail. This can happen to anybody in life in the face of a challenging situation. If you read the newspapers, you can see every day people getting depressed. Not only the lower class people, it is actually it's the higher middle class and the rich people. Very frequently, I am seeing in the newspapers. A mentally and physically strong person like Arjuna, on the face of a challenging situation of life, gets totally depressed, throws his bow out and arrow, and says, I will not fight this challenge. Sorry, Krishna, I don't want to fight. He wanted to run away from the battle, even though he was a army chief. That is very important. That we must keep in mind. Chapter 2 is Sankhya Yoga. It is a kind of introduction to all the chapters. Bhagavan initially laughed at the decision of Arjuna. He brought to his notice that if an army man runs from the battle, people will mock at him, laugh at him. Never they will think that it's all your aha. Arjuna was very kind. He was towards all the beings, so he ran away. Nobody will say. When the real challenge came, fight, he ran away. They will laugh at you, Arjuna. Even the smallest soldier will look at you and say, oh, by putting his hand on his mustache and say, by seeing my eyes, this Arjuna, people call him as a great warrior, ran away. In this chapter, Bhagavan Krishna beautifully brought out Sankhyan philosophy about Atma. Then Bhagavan Krishna gave a brief of what is Karma Yoga. He narrated what is Bhakti Yoga and concluded with Sannyasa Yoga. Chapter 3 is Karma Yoga. In this chapter, Arjuna raised a doubt. What is the real path? He asked Bhagavan Krishna, Hare Krishna, if knowledge is better than action, then why are you asking me to perform action? That too a terrible action. In answer to this question, Bhagavan Krishna said, there are only two paths, Arjuna. One is path of knowledge and path of action. Bhagavan said, no one can remain, even for a moment, without performing action. Bhagavan said, always perform actions which should be done, but perform all of them without attachment. By performing action without attachment, one can reach me. Bhagavan explained in detail what is Karma Yoga. Then chapter 4 is Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Bhagavan said that this Karma Yoga taught to Arjuna was nothing new, but was followed by many kings. Uh, but due to lapse of time, this was lost. Bhagavan said, Arey Arjuna, we both had, because he had raised a doubt. How can you say that I taught Surya Bhagavan? How can that happen? Because Surya Bhagavan was earlier in time. How can you teach Surya Bhagavan? But then Bhagavan said, hey Arjuna, we both had many births, but all of them I know and you know them not. Bhagavan Krishna, for the very first time in this chapter, hinted to Arjuna that he is Bhagavan. I don't know whether Arjuna got that point or not. Bhagavan said, whenever there is a threat to Dharma and Adharma is on the rise, I manifest myself. Further, Bhagavan declared that for the protection of sadhus and for the destruction of the asuras or rakshasas and for establishing Dharma, I always manifest. That is what Bhagavan Krishna said. According to Adi Shankara, this yoga alone forms the subject of Bhagavan's teachings throughout the Gita. This is a very important point. Swami Chinmayananda says that this is the main archway through which all the bhaktas must pass to reach the temple of self. Chapter 5. Chapter 5 is Karma Sannyasa Yoga. This chapter opens up with a question from Arjuna. He asks Bhagavan Krishna, Hare Krishna, please tell me which path is better, renunciation of action or performance of action. Please tell me only one path. Don't I think I am getting confused. That is what he says. Bhagavan Krishna in this chapter described how one should intelligently renounce karma. Bhagavan said, mentally renouncing all actions and fully self-control, the embodied one rests happily in the nine-gated city, neither acting nor causing others to act. Our body is a nine-gated city. The Atma is sitting inside happily. Bhagavan said, for a wise person, the vision is the same towards all beings. Whether it is a Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, or an outcast, there is no difference as he always sees the presence of Bhagavan in all of them. The self-present is nothing but Bhagavan. So he does not distinguish between a Brahmana, a elephant, a cow, a dog, a animal, whoever outcast, whoever it is. He sees the divine inside. Bhagavan first recommended that the tamasic nature should be overcome by vigorous activity. Then rajasic nature should be overcome by performing actions without ego. That is sattvic quality one will get. Then one becomes fit for meditation. In this chapter, Bhagavan explained two methods of achieving the same goal. Renunciation of agency, that is ego, and renunciation of fruits of actions. Swami Chinmayananda says, chapter 5 is a bridge between Karma Yoga and pure meditation. Then chapter 6 is Atma Samyama Yoga, that is meditation. This entire chapter is on meditation. Bhagavan said, the one who performs actions without depending on fruits of actions is a sannyasi and a yogi. Bhagavan said, let a man lift himself up by his own self and let him not lower himself, for this self alone is the friend and self alone is the enemy. Wonderful verse. Please again I will repeat. Bhagavan said, a man can lift himself by his own self alone, and let him not lower himself, for this self alone is your friend and self alone is your enemy. There is no friend in this world. The best friend is yourself. There is no enemy in this world. The enemy is again yourself. Both are the same. This chapter gives the techniques by which one can bring the mind under his control and contemplate on the higher. This is the sixth chapter. With this chapter, the Tvam Pada in the Mahavakya, Tat Tvam Asi, is over. Then chapter 7 to 12, Bhagavan talked about Tat Pada, that is Paramatma or Bhagavan. Chapter 7 is Jnana Vijnana Yoga. In this chapter, Bhagavan said, with a mind intent on me, practicing yoga and taking refuge in me, without doubt one can reach me. Very, very wonderful words. With the mind intent on me, practicing yoga and taking refuge in me, without doubt one can reach me. Bhagavan declared, Hey Arjuna, I will give you in full this knowledge combined with realization. Having known this, nothing more remains to be known. Bhagavan said in this chapter, among millions of people, only one per chance strives for perfection. Then Bhagavan explained what is his lower Prakriti and higher Prakriti. Bhagavan said, everything is strung in me as a pearl necklace. Bhagavan Krishna said, my higher Prakriti, that is the principle of consciousness, is the womb of all beings. Beyond me, there is nothing. Bhagavan declared this. Bhagavan explained about four types of bhaktas. We have already seen all those things. Bhagavan said, at the end of many births, a wise man comes to him by realizing that everything is Vasudeva. But such a Mahatma is very rare indeed. The one who realizes whatever, even a stone, tree, animal, ant, plant, whatever you see, Brahmana, non-Brahmana, uh, everything is Vasudeva. The wise man only realizes after a millions of births, but it is very rare indeed. Bhagavan said, Hey Arjuna, I know the beings of the past, present, and the future, but no one knows me. He concluded this chapter with some spiritual jargons. Chapter 8 is Akshara Brahma Yoga, that is imperishable Brahman. This chapter opens with certain questions from Arjuna on those spiritual jargons. Arjuna is asking Bhagavan, Hare Krishna, you told me in the last chapter, Brahman, etc. What is that Brahman? What is Adhyatma? What is Karma? What is Adibhuda? What is Adideva? And what is Adiyagya? Particularly, Arjuna is asking one interesting question to Bhagavan. He asks, Hare Krishna, how can anyone remember you at the time of departure? Because we are attached to our fixed deposits and other assets, or watch and all the other things. So he is asking, uh, people generally get agitated at that time. How can they remember you? In this chapter, Bhagavan gives a promise that whoever remembers me at the time of death, even accidentally, he reaches me. Arjuna, do not have any doubt on this. Hence he says, all the time remember me and fight with the mind and intellect fixed on me. Then Bhagavan gave the techniques of meditation. That is how to control the senses, how to control the mind and intellect, withdrawing of the prana, etc. So that you can always think about Bhagavan. Bhagavan explained how the higher Purusha can be attained in this chapter. Then chapter 9. Chapter 9 is Raja Vidya, Raja Gugya Yoga. That is royal knowledge and royal secret. In this chapter, Bhagavan says, the entire world is pervaded by me in my unmanifest form. All beings exist in me, but I do not dwell in them. That is the point. Again, very, very important. All beings exist in me, but I do not dwell in them. Bhagavan says, I am the father, I am the mother, I am the grandsire of this world. Bhagavan gives a promise in this chapter. For those people who worship me alone, without thinking of anything else, I secure them their yoga and shema. The famous Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Yejana of Paryubhasate. Desham Nityabhi Yuktanam Yogakshemam Vahamyadam. We all of us know this song, this verse. So he says, I will secure their yoga and shema who worships me without thinking of anything else. Yoga is securing that which is not already possessed by us. And shema is preserving what we already possess, all the good things. Bhagavan said, whoever offers me with pure heart and devotion, it may be a leaf, it may be a flower, it may be a fruit, it may be water. I accept everything wholeheartedly. Only underlying condition is pure heart and devotion. Bhagavan said, a person will be freed of his actions that yield good or evil if actions are done without ego. Bhagavan declared, even if the most sinful worships me, he should be considered as righteous person. Bhagavan finally said, how to reach him? He said, hey Arjuna, fix your mind on me, be devoted to me, sacrifice for me, bow down to me. Having thus united yourself, inner self with me, keeping me as a supreme goal, you shall reach me. I will repeat this. Hey Arjuna, he is saying through Arjuna to all of us, fix your mind on me, be devoted to me, sacrifice to me, bow down to me, having thus united yourself, lower self with me, higher self, keeping me as a supreme goal, you shall reach me. Then chapter 10 is Vibhuti Yoga. This chapter explains the power and pervasiveness of Bhagavan Krishna. Bhagavan said, hey Arjuna, I am the source for all the rishis and devas. Bhagavan said, the one who knows me as unborn and beginningless, as the great Lord of worlds, is undeluded and is freed from all the sins. Bhagavan assured that one who worships me with affection and full of devotion, I give them Buddhi Yoga. That is very important. Without Buddhi, what can we do? We cannot do anything. So he says, I will give Buddhi Yoga by remaining in their hearts, by which they can come to me. Arjuna is asking Bhagavan Krishna, Hare Krishna, please tell me again, in detail, your yoga power and immanent glory. I do not feel satisfied by hearing your nectar like words. That is what Arjuna is requesting. Then Bhagavan, based on his query, indicates the most prominent and chief in all the classes of beings, wherein his presence can be easily recognized and the Bhakta can keep constantly in touch with him. Bhagavan concludes this chapter by saying, I exist, supporting the entire universe by a minute portion of myself. One small amsha. Because of that, I am supporting this entire universe. That is what Bhagavan said. Then, chapter 11 is Vishwarupa Darshan Yoga. In the 10th chapter, Bhagavan explained to Arjuna, the self is the substratum of all beings. In this chapter, Arjuna expresses his desire to see the divine form of Bhagavan Krishna. Bhagavan Krishna said, hey Arjuna, you cannot see my divine form with your physical eyes. I will give you special eyes, divine eyes, to see my cosmic form. Then Bhagavan gave the divine eyes. Immediately Arjuna saw the cosmic form of Bhagavan Krishna with wonderment. Many legs, many mouths, many hands, fiery eyes, fiery tongue, etc. He saw Bhagavan was devouring all the kings in the field, Drona, Bhishma, everybody. Fierce looking, Bhagavan was shining like millions of suns, rising at the same time in the space. Arjuna became ecstatic and was overcome with fear also. Arjuna apologized profusely to Bhagavan Krishna for teasing him in private and public and calling him by names and not knowing who he is. That is why he says, Hare Krishna, I called you, Ye Krishna, Ye Saketi, etc. I called you, I am sorry, he says. Bhagavan declared, Ye Arjuna, I am the world destroying time. Stand up and fight. Everything is already destroyed by me. Nimitta matram bhava. You become only an instrument in my hands, like a flute. If a flute is given to Bhagavan Krishna, the music will be a melodious music. Bhagavan concludes by saying, Hey Arjuna, only with single pointed devotion I can be known and seen in reality and reached. Again I repeat. Finally, Bhagavan concludes by saying, Hey Arjuna, only with single pointed devotion I can be known and seen in reality and reached. Then chapter 12 is Bhakti Yoga. In the last chapter, Bhagavan Krishna said to Arjuna, through single pointed devotion, you can reach me. So Arjuna in this chapter is asking a question whether to worship Bhagavan with form or in a formless manner. How to worship you, Hare Krishna? You please tell me. Which one is better? Bhagavan Krishna explained both, the worships of both, and indicated that worship of form is better of the two. He gave reasons for that. He gave different techniques to suit the mental condition of people. First is focusing the mind and intellect. Then he came down one step down. If that is difficult, then he asked, you practice Abhyasa Yoga. That is also difficult. Then he came one step below. Then if that is also not possible, then Bhagavan said, perform actions without ego. Then that is also very, very difficult, Krishna. Then he said, one more step he came down. If that is also not possible, then Bhagavan said, at least renounce the fruits of actions at my feet. The reason being, the moment you renounce the fruits of actions, then you get peace of mind immediately. That is fit for meditation. That is easy to climb all the three steps. That is what Bhagavan Krishna said. Bhagavan revealed which bhakta is the most dear to him. He gave 36 values of life. The bhakta who lives those values is the dearest to him. That is what Bhagavan Krishna declared. With that, the Tatpada of the Mahavakya concluded. In following chapters, that is 13 to 18, we will have explanation for Asipada, Tat Tvam Asi, with Bhagavan Krishna's blessings and the blessings of all the Acharyas and Gurus, Bhagavadas, Bhaktas. We will climb the balanced steps in the ladder of perfection. Hariho, Sarvam Krishnarpanamastu. Narayana, 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 Narayana.